Yeah, Casey can hear us, I assume. Double-checking some things. We're already done. Thanks for coming, guys. We appreciate you popping in and seeing that. Hey, Purple Grass, welcome, man. I'll send you the empty card. I did one in after that's it. It'll probably be there. I can stream. Ta-da! All right, we are live. So running the spotlight. Perfect. So we got the everything here. Welcome everybody to the, I don't know, it's not really an inaugural stream, just stream with Cory and Preston. we're here. Yeah, we're doing Urt, the blessed Urt. We made sure to do a couple of, what do you call it, sacrifices to the demo art gods, and hopefully something comes out. They can't hear Cory. Cory, keep talk again. Okay. One moment. Thank you for letting us know here. I've got the solution. Audio output capture, Discord, device, chat. Okay, try talking. I have muted him still. He's still muted. System.
So unprofessional.
Okay, now.
Testing.
Oh.
Am I here?
Yep, you're here. It's peaking a little bit. I'm going to pull it down. Go ahead. One more time.
I'm just going to keep talking.
There
it's
we
me.
Go.
It's your DM.
Hey, Spambot.
I'm always going. Yeah, exactly. Nobody can silence me.
You cannot silence. It works. Welcome, Draft and a Hat. Welcomes you, Spam.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for joining us again. This is awesome. Oh, I wouldn't call myself sultry, but I appreciate the gesture there. For those of you who are only on one or the other, we are live on both Twitch and YouTube. So if we start saying something and you don't know what we're talking about, it might be because we're over on the other one and somebody said something on the other one. So I don't know if you want to be on both chats. I'm going to be, but that's up to you.
Yep, it works perfectly. And I just put a chat. If you're on Twitch, just threw a link in the description, or not the description, in the chat, so you should be able to see it there. So if you want to see us on YouTube, then it's there. And on YouTube, my YouTube button's giving me a error. So,
do you like my new mug over my shoulder?
Is that a Snorlax?
Yes, it is. But hang on just a second.
Oh no, what is it?
It is.
Oh, that's so cool.
Truly massive.
It
is a 50-ounce mug, and it is terrible to drink out of. I don't regret purchasing it, but I'm probably just gonna fill it with candy or snacks or something for the game night, and that's it.
That's perfect
because it is hard to drink out of.
It's deceitfully from where it's sitting right there. It looks kind of small, but when you brought it up close to the screen, it's huge.
Yes.
Hey, Formidable, welcome.
The problem was I accidentally left it in front of my door in my room, and I didn't have anything that could move it out of the way. So, yeah, I got stuck in here for a whole evening.
That's
for all those Pokemon lovers in our audience. Who knows?
Right.
Well, actually, speaking of which, sorry, just because we can go on tangents here.
Yes, we can.
I did see a Kickstarter that specifically was for D&D Pokemon. But it wasn't Pokemon. They were making their own unique one. And it is called... Let's see what it is here. Eldamon. So if you look it up on Kickstarter, it is basically Pokemon for a 5th edition world. It's like a supplement. Yeah, close. It's not quite Poké Dragon, but yep, get a little close there. Yeah.
There you go.
Perfect.
Go support your local Pikachus.
Can you give him a shocked face, please? I mean, yeah.
How's that?
Yeah. He looks like he's French and holding a baguette in his mouth, but I love it.
Yes. Fresh baguettes in the morning. Perfect.
Oh, has Colby done a sponsorship for them? That's awesome. I'm so far behind on YouTube. I am literally in May 30th of this year is how far behind I am. I've got like 1,000 YouTube videos to go through, so I haven't quite gotten to those ones yet. So what are we drawing tonight, Preston?
I don't know, honestly. I figured what we could do is maybe have some art discussion, maybe talk about some things that people in Aneria see. Maybe we talk about things that...
You're a little quiet right now.
Oh,
sorry.
Let me pull it over here. I was thinking maybe we could poll the audience, see if anybody wants to see something while we draw and talk about D&D, talk about upcoming fun that's happening. Hopefully not, I won't drop any spoilers with any opening any files.
If we do have a spoiler or two, that's okay. That's all right.
Yeah. I'm excited to get back to season 2. Have we even announced anything about the next time we're releasing the first video?
No, not yet. So basically, I know that we are soon going to record session 0 of season 2, which is just going to be kind of a refresher, just make sure everybody's cool on everything, talk about some rules changes, talk about the new characters, talk about kind of what happened in the gap year, as we call it. But I think that recording it and posting it aren't going to happen in the same week, if that makes sense. Just because we want to make sure that we have enough time. Because we got Dallin had his baby, and he actually picked up a new job too. I don't know if that's something he wanted everybody to know, but he's going to be traveling for that a little bit, so that delays the release. And then my wife actually has surgery coming up here soon, so she's getting her shoulder worked on. So I don't want to like start a game and be like, I'm abandoning you, my wife.
I'm gonna pull this over here and let's see if this works a little bit better. Am I blocking the camera? Nope, we're good. Okay. I hope you feel better.
Yeah,
it's no fun.
Lost soul. We all miss Tori. Yeah, it's sad that she decided to move on, but maybe we'll get her back someday. She's already talked about maybe wanting to come back for a Little Hopes. So Bramble Cheeks might return.
Yeah, Miss Bramble Cheeks is the best. What was it? What was the quote she used to have? If you're dirty, it's Miss Cheeks.
Oh, it's Miss Cheeks if you're dirty. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Somebody gave you a suggestion of something you could draw, and I kind of like it.
Okay.
A alternate timeline Ceradon where she's a knife dancer with her double scimitar.
Oof.
That might be a bit of a tall order. Sketch it out a little bit, I suppose.
See what we can do here. It can be fast and loose, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, Lost Soul, there's no current plans for a replacement for Tori. We were just going to run with 4. We were going to test a few guest stars and see if anybody really like meshes well, but we don't have any definite plans on anybody to replace them yet. It's hard to find somebody that can replace Tori with how well she meshed with the group. So that's going to be something that we need to like really work on. Exactly. She really can't be replaced. It'd be more about, yeah. And I don't know who's going to keep Colby in line with her gone. He's gonna go off the deep end with his min maxing. That's for sure. Actually, one thing we will talk about is he gets to spread his wings a little bit in a unique way coming up here shortly. We won't give too many details away, but we are recording a one shot just in the meantime that we're going to post within the next couple weeks here. That is going to be a rather interesting session, if I do say so myself. I'm excited and very nervous to see how it goes.
And yeah, it's gonna be interesting, especially when you open the gate and say some of the criteria.
Yeah,
I'm definitely for me personally, I still need to. There's a couple of things I still need to nail down for my character, but I know that it'll be fun. It'll be chaos.
yeah.
And I like.
I'm very
all about
excited
chaos.
for it. It could be. It doesn't involve a blade singer, no. I don't think that he's going to want to do a blade singer with this. Although I do want to get Colby playing a blade singer again, that's for sure. Formidable, yeah. If you have ideas, I'd love to hear them. If you want to kind of talk with me about them, I know I need to go through and update the knife dancer class. I keep saying I need to do a lot of things, but kind of prepping the next game is making it so it's hard to do anything else. It's just one of those things where I'm like, I should be focusing on what's coming up rather than what I've already completed. So I need to settle down and do that. Just one of these days, it's going to happen. I'll get into like a mood about it. I did update a few articles on World Anvil. Well, I added a couple articles, I should say. So if anybody ever wants to know about the Kitsune race that we have in Aneria and their tiny cousins, the Kitsun, you can go to the World Anvil site, which is in any of the Tales in Area descriptions, and you can see a little bit about them and kind of what their family structure is, and that may be pertinent for a character that you might meet in Season 2. If I could clone myself, oh my gosh, that is literally the number one superpower on my mind all the time. Because like most of the time when people think about superpowers, it's like, oh, what would I do to be a superhero? It's like, no, I just want to have a power that lets me, be better at my life, as it were. And it's either shape shifting, which would allow me to do just fun stuff, or it's cloning, which would allow me to do a lot more stuff.
Now here's a question: if she is a knife dancer,
yes,
and she has scimitars, would she still have the Vanguard haircut?
Ooh. So not all knife dancers are part of the 8 rings, so she could still technically be part of the. Yeah, she could still technically be part of the Vanguard. I know that Colby wanted her to go away from having that hair, which was a fun little side plot that we did. So is her double scimitar detachable then?
I don't know. Sure. That's what we're deciding here. I was thinking for a dynamic pose, it might be nice to have like 2 Dritz style kind of scimitars.
Bosco, yeah. The power of healing others is definitely on my mind as well. He says do a pixie bob on her.
Pixie bob? For
a hairstyle instead.
You're going to have to forgive me. I am terrible with haircut names. So that's like Halle Berry?
Yeah, kind of like Halle Berry. Look, okay. I mean, you can look up a reference if you want, but. Okay.
And what hair texture would she have? Would she have like your flowy whatever kind of texture? Would it be more kind of curly and kinky curls, or what do you guys think? I'm thinking like because the one that Colby always showed, it felt like more kind of a European hair texture.
Yeah. Yeah, I think European texture is probably that. Yeah. That's what I would say personally, but obviously, like everybody else can weigh in here. My idea was to create a weapon heaviness score for how many weapons you can move with your mind at once. Then each blade can do the same stuff they currently do. I definitely do like that because the idea when the knife dancer class was originally created was just daggers, right? That was the whole point of it was it's knife dancing, but that quickly kind of spiraled out of control. Because I definitely like the idea of being able to just bond with weapons. So they really should be called weapon dancers at this point. But I do like the idea of like basically making a heavyweight and a lighter weight weapon, allowing you to have more, and then you can have 1,000 needles dipped in love potion.
Hey, that new character, who dis Cupid.
Yep, exactly.
That'd be perfect. Yeah, like, and the shield dancer, that was another one that's been talked about a couple times.
Yeah, the shield dancer is a really cool one. I know that Ivan had a couple discs that he used as both like offensive and defensive shields, kind of thing. But I think a full like just defensive dancer would be really cool as well.
I agree.
Ooh, yeah, it is a little bit like Ventress. I love it. I do kind of like it. So in this alternate reality, Ceradon, the people of Taria Moon rejected her, right? We'll say that they didn't like her dwarf heritage, so they kicked her out, and she couldn't go to Malagoth because the dwarves were also like kill anybody who looks like an elf on sight, right? So she ends up going into the Pouncewind Prairie and ends up becoming a wastelander elf. She picks up with a tribe there and kind of does the whole scavenging thing. So she definitely has a little bit more like grittiness to her. The pixie bob is definitely like that. Just like cut off the hair as you can, make it like really messy and not really stylized in any way. So Ivan's mom in the Tempered Requiem, Leora, she actually does use a bunch of needles as her weapon. She has a bunch of needles and thread, and she uses them to like zip around and bind people up and everything like that. Z says, "Good start."
All right. I'm over here hiding under my screen, but hopefully you can still see it.
That's all right. If anybody has any questions either about just D&D in general or Tales of Aneria, feel free to ask. We'd be more than happy to answer them. That's kind of what we're here for. The art is a bonus. Obviously, it's looking amazing. So it's my reason for being here. I'm planning on making you draw like 3 different things of mine tonight, maybe. Right. Sorry. You're busy. I did want to actually ask you a few questions tonight. I did have a couple and questions for the audience too, to kind of chat here. I was actually wondering how everybody's feeling about the homebrew rules that we have in Tales of Aneria. Specifically, I wanted to start talking about first tonight, the potion rules. Does everybody like the potion rules? Do you guys feel like it makes it too easy? Yeah.
I think we're talking. I know everyone else in chat is also talking.
Yeah.
But I personally like them. I like the idea of being able to choose, to be able to have some adaptability with the way that you play your game. And when it comes to like, sometimes, especially with a larger group, sometimes taking an action can be to be able to pop a potion. In my opinion, it can be cumbersome, but it's nice. I get why some people don't like them for the problem with clerics. It kind of nullifies clerics and diminishes them in some form. But
I think that if you have a party that doesn't have a specific dedicated healer, having it is nice to be able to do an action, do a full potion drink. But I don't think it's necessarily needed if you do have a healer on hand.
I agree.
So Lost Soul asked, are there any spells or classes that we would ban? And I would say, as far as classes go, no. There's no class in my mind that I will never ban, except for maybe those dang bear totem barbarians. But no, I definitely wouldn't ban any class. I have banned Wish as a spell, as a spell that you can learn. However, I was reading through Wish today because of certain things that might happen in the one shot that we were talking about, kind of going over it again, and it's not nearly as bad as I think it is. So I might just start allowing it as a yes. If you get up to 9th level spell slots and you are allowed to take Wish, you should be able to get it, because it definitely does come with a heavy cost. So also, as far as the homebrew rules go, for the potion rules, we're talking about a bonus action potion just lets you take the potion as normal, and then a full action on the potion lets you get the full healing amount from it. Basically, you're spending your time drinking down the entire potion, so you get the full hit points on it. And yes, I would ban Colby if it was come down to banning anything. He's not here. He can't defend himself.
All right, so right now I'm just going for form.
Yeah, my wife mentioned that in regards to drawing, we are planning on starting to draw more and trying to practice ourselves so that we can draw our own things. That's definitely after the surgery, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Zach, and welcome. Purple Terrace says, does she worship the trio, and how does she meet Eve? So I would say this Ceradon doesn't have any sort of religious connotations. Obviously, she's not bound to the choir in this universe. I'd probably say she's more of a sword mage using her own power. Well, actually, sorry, we said knife dancer. She's already a knife dancer. I can't make her something else. I would say that she probably does meet Eve, but I think their relationship would be a much rockier start, because this Eve is very much distrusting of anybody who has any sort of normal life, as it were, because she was forced to fend for herself, and having anybody who was just kind of, as I wouldn't say naive as Eve is, but just kind of as relaxed as Eve was at the beginning of the game. Like, I bet you there was a bit more tension there in this alternate reality.
Now, when it comes to this you said wasteland, right? Or more kind of like wild feral. What kind of armor is she wearing?
So as far as the wasteland elves go in the Pounceman Prairie, there's two things in abundance. One is furs, because there's a lot of animals in the prairies, lions and buffalo, that sort of thing. Because Pounceman Prairies was supposed to be kind of like a big savanna area. And then there's a lot of wreckage, airship wreckage. So if she does have any metal armor on her, it'd probably be in like scraps that she's attached to her body over the years. Or not to her body, but to her clothing over the years. And I think if your group's cleric refuses to heal, if it's out of protest, then that's something obviously as a DM you need to look into. But if they're happy not to heal and spend their time doing other things, then it's a great rule to have. Josh T says, we played a level 20 one shot, 2 bands we used, no wish and no guaranteed divine intervention. Those are good rules for a one shot, I would say. Just because a one shot is supposed to be this kooky adventure, but it's not supposed to be so kooky and so easy with the wish spell. So lost soul. When Cory leaves, will Colby remember the name of his own character? No. He has a new character. Actually, he has a new character, and he gave it the same first level, or it's not the first level, first letter as Dallin's new character. So expect a lot of crossover there, I'm assuming. Yeah, and obviously if you're in it to hang out, that's completely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what? You can give me any situation and I will spin it off into a what if lore. I love what if storylines. I think they're fantastic, and they're a great way to just like explore a character in a completely different setting and give them a new, like, fresh spin, right? What about my custom lineage rule? Basically, my rule was that your custom lineage, you can pick custom lineage and be any 2 half races that you want, and still get the feats from both of those races, still qualify for the feats. So in our case, Ezra was a half elf, half orc, and was able to take elven accuracy when normally they wouldn't be. And then Colby was half elf, half dwarf, and able to do the same. So what do you all think of that as a rule? And also, my thought on it is that it allowed my players to branch out, but still allow them to play the character they wanted to play. For example, I never thought I'd see Colby playing a dwarf character because he always likes to pick elves. So giving him the option of expanding his horizons with the half elf allowed him to kind of stretch his legs in a space that I had never seen him in before. So, Tarask, it's funny that you mentioned that she gets along better with Ezra, because in the first episode, when they first meet Eve, Ezra was like, "Whoa, you're beautiful," right? Basically, like he literally said that, and I was like, okay. And they were chatting a bit in the first couple episodes, and I went, "Is there kind of a romantic subplot that's going on here that you guys are working out under behind the scenes without me knowing about it?" And I kind of didn't bring it up simply because I didn't want to like push anybody into romance. I've done that before in a game and it never turns out well, being like, "Hey, what if this?" And then the person's like, "Okay, I guess," and then they don't really like it. So I didn't say anything, and it ended up just fading away into nothing. But I think definitely if Saradon was a little less receptive and a little bit more crass or rude to Eve, then she may have gotten along better with Ezra. To the point where she may have gotten along a lot better with Ezra. Will Nezra fall in love with Ezra, or Ezra fall in love with Nezra? Can you fall in love with yourself? Loki says you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, the rule can be pretty powerful, but it also allows a little bit more free space for people to play in. Just because, again, like if I wouldn't have come up with that rule, Colby would have played an elf. That would have been the end all be all of it. And he's played an elf pretty much in every single. Well, actually, out of the 3, I think, different campaigns that I've run him through, he's played it in 2 of them. And then he actually played an elf in the Bronze Battalion as well. So 3 out of 4 that I've been in with him. I did see an where was it? Question for Preston.
Yep.
What got you into digital art, and do you do it more than traditional art, or are you strictly digital?
I'd say what got me into it was sleeping through classes in elementary school and high school and everything else, and drawing like on everything. My teachers hated it because every time I turn in something, they would have doodles in the margins and just all over the place. I'm gonna while we're talking about this, I'm gonna steal a reference here.
That's completely fine. You're allowed to do references.
Okay, there we go. And for some kind of wasteland breastplate, looks like we got something out of like Borderlands or Mad Max or something. So
yeah,
all right,
pretty much.
But yeah, like as far as between the two of them, I think I do traditional more, honestly, just because it's available. And for me, my first kind of love, I guess you could say, was kind of pen and paper and just doodling and doing all that kind of stuff. But what got me into more digital side of things was I actually went to school for illustration, and my degree was in that. And one of the classes that I wanted to be able to get better at was something that was more marketable for like digital art, for if I'm doing user experience design, application design. I want to do video games, and a lot of that was in digital at the time, so it was a lot cheaper. Well, not cheaper. It was a lot more. It just made more sense, and so with my job, it kind of just went that way. So I do a lot of digital art, but I think if I took lifetime totals, I've probably done more traditional art than I've done digital art. So
yeah,
roundabout way. But yeah, just drawing.
Roundabout way.
I just love doodling.
Trust me. You're speaking about video games and designing them, and I have been very tempted to do an open source project video game where it's like a Tales of Aneria RPG, just a small RPG story, and be like, if I get Preston in on this, he could do all the pixel artwork for it. And you're like, oh man. So maybe in the future, that would definitely be something that is that is a Cory's own time, and it wouldn't be a release for like any money. It'd probably be like just a free, like, here you go, here's a Flash game or something like that.
Oh, spoilers, everyone. Go projects. So like stuff like I've got a couple of them here we can show.
Lost Soul, to answer your question, in 5.5, do you think they will make a free feat at level 1 almost standard? I think they will, and I think you're right that they're going to put them in backgrounds more than anything. They're gonna say whatever your background is, you get a free feat, and then your background includes, or if your background has something specific, it includes a specific feat.
Right, copy image. There we go. Let's close that before an ad starts. There we go.
And then Lord Trivanus, which I don't think we've welcomed yet. Welcome. He asked if I have considered making a podcast. I have made a podcast before. It was about nerd shit, not about this.
Wait, stools or?
Yeah, it's just more about just like random like nerd news.
News.
I do have a lot of ideas. I've had the thought to make a channel that deals with, or at least a podcast or something that deals with coming up with homebrewing ideas and kind of taking creatures and making a new creature with a higher CR out of it or something, because everybody hates when you get to a certain level, or I shouldn't say everybody. I hate when you get to a certain level and you're like, I really wish that I could put my players up against orcs, but the orcs are way low CR and they just get trashed completely. Because it feels like yes, you guys are gaining power, but I also want it to be a, Lord of the Rings. They never got to the point where orcs weren't a threat. Like, yes, they could take out a group of orcs pretty easily, but like they were still there. And I guess adding more is an option, but I don't like that option. I like the idea of making like a cave troll, and then this is a cave troll that has armor on it, and he's even bigger, or Sauron's infused him with power, that kind of thing. If we're going to continue with the Lord of the Rings metaphor here,
A little different.
But yes, I also want to do more content. In fact, I want to. I have a few games that I want to play with members of Tales of Aneria that have to do with RPGs, like Wildermyth, Baldur's Gate 3 when it comes out fully. I don't want to do like the early access or anything like that. Orcs Must Die 3, just because that's fun to play with somebody. And then Solasta, Crown of the Magister, apparently is a 5th edition rule set RPG that you can play as well. Yeah, exactly. You gotta either double, triple, quadruple the orcs for each person, or you have to give them like Manaroth demon blood, and then they're fell orcs, and they're even more powerful. No problem. And then the last rule that I wanted to talk to everybody about is my critical hit rule, which is the most controversial rule for me personally. And it was more of the group asked for it, and I decided to try it out. But basically, the rule is that if you crit, you deal maximum damage plus another roll of the dice, to make it so that it was in an effort to make it so that critical rolls didn't feel underwhelming. Like if you rolled 2 1s off of your weapon damage dice, it feels a little lackluster when you get the critical hit. But I feel like we kind of went the other way with it, and I think adding in with Colby and all of the other, let's be fair, Colby helped everybody make very optimized characters, and having that kind of add additional dice to a bunch of rolls kind of ruins that whole dynamic, and it makes some combats feel very trivial when a crit takes care of a boss in half of a hit. Hey, David. And Josh, that is what I'm considering bringing back, because I took that away around level 6 because there were a couple of fights that I completely would have TPK'd the party if or I almost did because the crit rules were the way that they were. And with me rolling way more dice, I kind of went, I don't know if I want to do that. But now they're at that level where killing a character or killing two characters isn't the end of a party. So I'm thinking about bringing the crit rules back up to par with that.
There's a chance that I could die.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody say hi to Daywood. That's actually Scott in the chat. So he's here in spirit. I know he's busy working on some storage right now, I believe is what he's currently working on for all of the minis. Yes, that is probably my biggest failing as a DM is I am very forgiving and I want my party to survive because I have all these plot lines and storylines for them, and it would suck to have that just completely end. But I think that, I mean, obviously everybody else is doing about that same homebrew. It looks like maybe I'll modify it and maybe I'll just do that. Monsters do max damage on a crit. I don't know. I need to give it a little bit more thought. Actually, sorry, that would be if we were doing an early campaign again. They're level 12 now. They can handle damage and a half. Yeah, Scott, since you just joined us, this is Ceradon, the knife dancer. This is this is an alternate timeline, Ceradon, where they got rejected by both the dwarves and the elves, and they ended up becoming a wastelander elf. And yep, there you go. Take it back. I knew he'd be like, we have enough Ceradon art. We need somebody else's art. And I have thought about that too. I need to find a good roll table, and if I found a good roll table that I could add in, I know if anybody's ever played Edge of the Empire, the Star Wars D&D, not the 3.5 D&D, but the new one that they came out originally. It has a good chart that is you lose a limb, or you could full up to die on a critical hit roll, but I do like the idea of that. It's just I haven't found any good roll tables for it yet. And I don't know. I make a lot of tables, but I'm not sure if I want to make one for my own. Yeah, I might. So I've been playing around with an idea about monsters, specifically boss monsters, trying to think about ways to improve them and to make the fights a little bit better. And I want to do a video just talking about this because I did it for the Eventhy fight. But basically, I don't know if anybody's seen or played Sentinels of the Multiverse before, but in that, you're a team of heroes going up against a single villain, and it's a card game, and the villain has a villain deck that every turn, the villain flips over a card, and it does an effect. And each villain is different. Some of them do higher damage. Some of them add debuffs, that sort of thing. And what I did with the Eventhy fight, what I might be doing moving forward, is I created a custom boss deck that triggered on certain things. And I just used magic cards. Obviously, I could just use random rolls if I wanted to, but I have magic cards and I like magic cards, so I'm going to use them. But it was just they could use a legendary action to flip a card and do a specific spell with that. Or they could do whenever they started their turn or the top of the round, it flipped a card, that sort of thing. And then there was going to be, which we didn't get to just because, and I figured we wouldn't because they killed Eventhy so fast, but there was going to be this sort of enrage timer. Once the deck ran out, they would start doing more damage each round just to everybody based on how many cards were missing from the deck, that sort of thing. And yeah, I think it could make a dynamic fight. I could see it very much you could even do something an enemy has three, or a druid, an archdruid enemy has a 3-card deck, and you flip the card and they change their form each time that they that they draw a card, so that they can go defensive and then they can go offensive or utility, that sort of thing. And you don't have to do it with cards. Obviously, you could just make it a random roll table. but I do like the idea of the cards. It adds a little bit more tactile and makes me feel better. Yeah, and specifically the cards that I was using for the Magic cards for this deck were Forgotten Realms cards from that set that came out. So it was a lot of things where I was able to like flip it over, and I saw I went, oh, okay, this is a dragon fire spell, so it does, I do a flame breath attack, that kind of thing. And obviously that kind of like determined the cards. And I wasn't going to do it for this fight, but another fight I was going to throw in like creature cards, which in Magic are a different type of spell, and then have that summon additional adds. And I think that's a great way to kind of keep the battlefield moving and shifting around a little bit more. The 100, you might want to slim it down from 100 card commander deck there, but yes, I have way too many commander decks now too, and I just barely started getting them. So I'm not familiar with this character from Borderlands, Preston. Who is this?
No idea. I have no clue. I just grabbed one off the
If
internet.
you're talking, I can't hear you. Your mic has gone completely silent.
Silent.
You have been muted. I wonder how long you've been muted for.
No, the stream still hears me. Can you guys still hear me on the stream?
Okay, yeah, I don't have that many commander decks. Jeez, Bosco.
I see it bouncing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just me. Oh, hang on. Talk again?
Okay.
Oh my gosh. It was my headphones. My headphones shut off because they hadn't gotten any input for a while.
Here, I'll put some input.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. I need to keep checking that. Yep, the headphones went to sleep. You know what? I might
gotcha.
just...
I was just like, wait, no, what? Is the stream shut off? Like, what's going on?
No, yep, sorry. What were you saying about the character?
I have no idea who it is. It was just,
Okay.
I just typed in Mad Max breastplate. And
Perfect.
That was the first image that came up on Google Images. I know it's not Mad Max. I know it's Borderlands. And
yeah,
I'm not sure where the other one's from personally. So if someone in the chat knows. I just kind of like this kind of, what do you call it? Quilted armor. That
yeah.
kind of feel. I thought it was
Yep.
kind of cool.
That was my paladin. Roland had that kind of quilted armor, and he got that. I put like electrical weave through it, and basically he channeled his god's power because he was a paladin of Gond. So he challenged the power through it, and it electrified it and hardened the material. Right.
So we got
flavor-based sticks. So, are we doing alternate versions of everybody tonight? Is that the theme?
Sure. Yeah, I'd say like if other people like if we have other stuff like at least right now, I just figured we'd get some quick concepts in, and
yeah,
as one stops speaking to us, then we move to another.
I definitely. So I was talking last week about how I was doing short stories for the upcoming game, and we started talking about Hug, and now I've added a short story about Hug and his daughter Cuddle, because that was a wonderful little tidbit that I absolutely ran away with. Alternate version of the DM. Yeah, it's awful. The rocks fall and everybody dies. Purple Tarask says Pirate King Victor is the alternate Victor that he wants.
Pirate King Victor. Sweet.
Yep.
Okay.
So what's her weapon's name? Does each blade have a name or just one name for the whole thing? So Scalebreaker was the name of the dual, the double-bladed scimitar that she had. I would say that it probably has some sort of like elf name that means like fire and ice, and then put together it means like the chilling blaze or something like that.
Robert Frost.
Yeah, so it's like Edothel and Imethal or something like that, and then together they just mean Robert Frost. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Yeah, but it means something like that.
It's
So
in
it's
the
kind of like
universe
this. Yep.
It's out there. So, all right. Well, let's put this one in.
Alternative bolt nut. There is a nut actually. In where Bolt is from, there is a another Warforged called Nut. I have no idea. I can't remember too much about them, but it is not Bolt's lover. that is not canon, but it could be canon, unless.
All right.
Yes, canon is a different Warforged. Perfect. Actually, so one of the things that we never really touched on because we kind of had to move along and plans had to change was Bolt's meeting with Cal, the little Warforged that was all rusted, is actually a member of 3, where their names are Al. It's Al, Kemi, and Cal. Basically, they're all healers, and they all use like potions and such as their main form of healing. And if you want to see kind of the idea behind them, where they originally came from, Preston, I don't know if you can pull it up here. Look up MTG Bottle Gnomes.
I don't know how to show it because I've got it set to a
that's fine.
screen.
It's fine if it won't show up for you. Just everybody can look up MTG Bottle Gnomes. There's one from specifically the Morodin set that they look like just big round potion bottles. They're wonderful, and I love them, and I made characters based on them. So, Preston, if you had to run a campaign, being a DM, because I know you've run a few different campaign books, you've run Lost Mines, and you've run Tomb of Annihilation. Am I missing any there?
I've done a couple side modules, like one-shots from the Tales of Yawning Portal, and a couple other ones like that.
Okay. If you had to pick a campaign book that you haven't run yet, what would you?
Ghost of the Salt Marsh. I think probably the next one.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
I like
doing
pirates. Pirates are fun.
Yep. Doing a full ship campaign. And the same goes for everybody in chat if you guys had a specific campaign that you'd be interested to run. For me, Descent into Avernus. I love, again, we're kind of going Mad Max a little bit here, but I love the idea of these giant infernal machines driving around.
That'd be cool.
we won't spoil anything from the last couple episodes, Josh. Don't worry. If you're playing in another chat, that's cool. Oh yeah, Strahd is okay. I have a complicated history with Strahd because I ran it for the group right before we started TOA, and in fact, we recorded the final episode and brought Tori in because she wasn't there for the rest of the campaign, and but we're never going to release that episode because I thought it was horrible and I thought I played Strahd absolutely terrible. I wanted it to play straight out of the book and try to be like as harsh of a GM as possible, and the party did almost die within the first encounter, which was, accomplishment achieved for Strahd. But I feel like I would have had a lot more fun and the party would have had a lot more fun if I would have gone with a lot of the recommendations on there's a specific Curse of Strahd Reddit where they give you like extra resources on how to run this game, and they've really tuned it up to be amazing.
I don't know, that broom at the beginning. You should have thrown that one in right as we went in, and at least 3 of us have been unconscious.
That's true. Yeah, that animated broom in the Durst house really took you guys out. Like, holy crap!
Everything. Yep. It put the fear of Strahd in us.
Well, and it was also the you guys were walking along the road and you found that invitation, or not that invitation, that letter from the Burgermeister, and you all heard the braying of wolves, and everybody was like, "Oh, all right, a wolf encounter. This should be easy."
Yeah.
And there were like 3 dire wolves that came out of the woods, and none of you thought you would you would have any issue taking on some wolves as your first encounter. 2 of you dropped 0 hit points.
And I was hiding in the
Preston,
tree.
you were hiding in the tree. Scott used mold earth to put himself 5 feet above the battlefield, and then Strahd appeared, and he's like, and he waves the wolves away, and he's like, I'm very disappointed, but I'm giving you one more chance to impress me. And then he left. And I stopped the game for a moment there, and I'm like, just to let you guys know, there's not everything's going to be level appropriate for you from this point. Like, it's definitely not going to be sunshine and roses. But I didn't want to kill everybody's character off right in the first encounter. I could have, but again, I am too generous as a DM.
Yeah, it was a fun one. I liked making the character introductions for that one. That was fun.
Yeah. Real world post-apocalyptic where D&D Shadowfell invaded the Earth. Oh, you're speaking to me. I love some fantasy apocalypse books, and I love some fantasy apocalypse stories. So yeah, that's definitely speaking to me. And then Scott mentioned that he would like to play The Wild Sea, which is an RPG book that he bought or got on Kickstarter, where basically most of the world has been overrun by these giant trees that grow within seconds, and people ride along the tops of these trees using special like ships that cut their way through the tree or the canopy, only to have it heal behind them. It's a really cool set, and if you haven't seen it yet, you should check it out. So does this version of Victor still have the blindfold?
Yeah.
So he was exiled, and instead of wanting to better himself, he just decided to say screw it to the whole 8 rings and became a pirate.
Yep.
I love it.
Yes, he said that honor among thieves is more reliable than honor amongst friends.
Ooh.
And so he decided that he would become the pirate king.
So does he join up with the party in this case, or does he not?
Perhaps, but for his own devices, to acquire something that they have, information, or maybe he's just doing it for his own desires because he thinks that getting close to Eve would benefit him in some form.
Yeah.
If you guys, I'm thieving. That's right.
Exactly. Bosco said, did he become a fathomless warlock? And I love the idea. There was, again, a whole nother storyline that got cut that was going down to Edaquathan, and actually we saw a little bit of it with the Little Hopes, because I decided to adapt the storyline there that you guys didn't do, but it was going to be this whole like little side quest with like an Illithid Dark Master and being underwater and everything like that. And then I just ignored the fact that Aneria has a lot of water and rivers, which is something I talked about in session 0 that never came to fruition. And my deepest regret with the setting, that's for sure. Is this Laufe Undanta?
Yes, it is. So he's got these
Luffy
Luffy-sama.
Luffy.
Luffy-sama.
It's pronounced Luffy.
Yes. It depends on if you watch the dubs or subs.
Yeah.
Let's just throw this in here real quick. Knock it out.
Amazing. Love it. Josh D says he needs 3 slices in his hat.
Oh, hold on.
Ooh, can you ring the edge with a blade for me? Like, just do like a little tiny ring, basically like an odd job hat, right? and he just knife danced and connected with this
the hat.
the hat blade. Yeah.
It's like what's that one? Mortal Kombat, the guy with the bladed hat, and I always hated playing against him because he'd throw his hat out and it would act like a buzzsaw and cut you in half as the fatality.
Kung Lao. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was a pain in the
Which
butt.
they did that fatality in the new Mortal Kombat movie, which it was a Mortal Kombat movie. I don't know what people were expecting out of it, but it was all right.
I don't remember where Luffy's stuff's at off the top of my head, so we're gonna throw those in there.
Casey said your drawings are amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm just keeping you up to date on chat just because I know that you're occupied.
It's the wrong layer, dang it. I was thinking, what I always wanted for, as far as Victor was concerned, was like he had these amber eyes that, like, I wanted to have that whole cloaked figure, whatever type. And he ended up being kind of a goofball, but it wanted to be like the Aragon in the corner, the Strider, and all you see is the horned, like, golden eyes, amber eyes staring at you from the darkness of his hood.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
Instead, I stole the amber eyes.
And that's okay.
You and I are in the same boat. I cannot make a serious character for the life of me, no matter what. It doesn't matter like how hard I try, they always end up being just a little quirky or just a little goofy. This recent character that I started making, I was trying to make like a very serious, like, healer, nature-y druid type, and he's kind of gone off the rails already, and I'm very interested to see where he leads and if I'm actually going to be able to play him seriously at all.
Always a challenge. And I always try and do that, like, that type of character that's like really cutthroat or whatever else, but it always devolves into I can't be a bad guy. I'm too hard.
Yeah.
Too hard to stick with people.
Honestly, I think that Victor's character is the right amount of goofy when he needs to be, and very serious when he needs to be. One of my favorite moments was when you refused to attack the Onyx wing member, and you got into like this big argument with the rest of the party about it, and they like, we don't really trust Preston, or we don't really trust Victor that much anymore, you know.
Yeah, good. I'm glad, and that was something too that it, like, I don't know. I don't know if anyone else. I guess this is a question for the chat. Have you ever had a moment where, like, you didn't agree with what your character would do, but it was like something that would go against their grain, like, strongly? And in that case, it was one of those things where, like, I as a player, like, no, I want to kill these guys. I want to, like, dispatch them and, like, play as a team. But then me as the player was like, like, am I throwing out that what do you call it when people say, oh, it's what my character would do just because it makes me feel better, or is it actually what my character would do, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. In that case, it was fun to explore that and see how everybody, like, just that interplay. I think that sometimes, like, I think we talked about this in that slide of my DMs at one point, where when people talking to each other and people trying to have that conflict and intra-party conflict and making sure that doesn't bleed onto the actual table, but, like, I think that that's always has a positive outlook on it. Just makes things feel more grounded to me if there is conflict, because it's not always sunshine and rainbows, even with people you like in real life. So
yeah, no, it makes sense that there would be conflict like that. So
yeah, cool. All right, what's the next one?
I have an idea for you.
Okay, go for it.
Since we're doing the whole alternate universe thing, I would like to see Eve as a pious Masochist battle sister, if that makes sense. Basically, I want to see like sort of like, we could do like a cowl with the robe or something like that, but I want it to be like a no magic Eve. She's hunting down anybody who uses magic. She went like full zealous into the Masochist ideal. And it's definitely an Eve that if she ever found out her mom was a magic user, she would do exactly what her father did. and either have her be judged or judge her herself. And I think this Eve is like specifically out in the world, and I don't think this is an Eve that ever would be able to like be within normal society for too long, because she definitely would like attack people as soon as she saw magic. So she's definitely a villain in that case.
Here's the real question: does she have her snake holes or a longsword?
I think she would have her longsword. The snake holes is definitely something that's close to her gods. Also, Bosco says that he wants Bolt as a chef bot as well for an idea later. I'll write that down. Basically a Bolt. Yeah, kind of exactly, Bosco, kind of like a ninja nun. A nunja. Yeah, for the chef Bolt, I definitely see that as he stayed in Terabon with his adopted family and ended up helping run the inn. And over time, he started integrating himself into the inn to make things easier, right? So he lost his legs so that he could like kind of dangle in over the kitchen a little bit better. But like, so he's more of this like amalgam creature than he is a full Warforged.
Like the if for those of you who've seen not Princess Monaco, what's it called? Spirited Away. The guy down in the boiler room for Spirited Away. Have you ever seen that one?
Yes, exactly, kind of like that. Yeah.
Like
Sorry, Scott has been incessantly pinging in my ear. I apologize. I am the worst at getting Bolt's pronouns correct. So I wanted to ask everybody a question too. What is your favorite purchase that you've ever made in D&D that isn't a magic item that you've spent gold on? Or if you're a DM, what's your favorite way to get your players to spend gold? That isn't just giving them magic items, because obviously the Wayward Watch had a lot of money towards the end, and magic items are great, but they can often like overbalance things. And I've just been thinking about that a little bit recently. They don't have a kitchen. They are the kitchen. Yeah, exactly. Now, if this Eve were to meet Ceradon, because we were talking about if Ceradon met Eve, I don't think that their relationship would have gone anywhere if Ceradon would have shown off any sort of magical talent, which would have been a fun dynamic to be like, Ceradon's trying to keep it a secret because they like Eve, so they're trying to like subtly not use their magic. We got in the Zentirum and procured an airship in Storm King's Thunder. Cost us a lot of gold. Yeah, an airship definitely is one of those like, yes, we need, like, if you have a lot of gold to buy it, it makes travel a whole lot easier, that's for sure. Food wagon I bought for my chef character because IRL I am saving for a food truck. Oh, cool, Bosco. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love a good food truck. Mm-hmm. I love a good food, I should say. Like, that's not obvious.
It is delicious. Building block.
Oh, yeah, yes. Okay, I'm writing a bunch of stuff down for Chef Bolt. Like, they got a big open furnace where their stomach should be, a big giant two-handed meat cleaver. Preston's like, let me finish Eve first.
Get there one at a time.
Yeah, I kind of like this righteous crusader, like almost heretic style, for Eve. Like, I don't know, like I would love to do you guys fight your alternate party selves at one point, but I always think those are, if I wanted to do a player version of them, it would be incredibly difficult. If I wanted to just do like a evil party, it probably wouldn't be as fun because they wouldn't have as many tricks up their sleeves.
That's true.
Yeah, obviously, if Tori would have gone the route of she sees magic as evil at the beginning, and then work her way to seeing magic as normal, then it definitely would be there's bigger fish to fry, and we need to work on that.
Forgive me. She was a human?
She's a half elf, actually.
Half elf. That's right.
Yep. Just a regular old half elf, half human. Pretty much everybody in Rowan is half elves at this point, just because they've mingled so much. Like there were elves and humans originally, and then they kind of just mingled together. Oh, what should we have Eve's foot sitting on? Get your ideas in the chat. Some type of magical creature, perhaps. Scott says. Yeah, so Formidable brings up a good point. Having an anti-magic weapon of some kind that just cleaves magical creatures would be cool. And I was thinking about, yeah, it's just a pet rock. Is that all it is? Oh, it's a pumpkin. But what I was thinking about is I was trying to think about how anybody in Rowan enforces somebody leaving like Eve did. Like, yes, they put out the bounty, but if they had to send somebody to hunt her down, like, how would that be challenging for a party because they can't use magic? And I came up with the idea of these masochists who specifically exile themselves but consider themselves masochists still, so that they can go hunt down transgressors using magic. And it's sort of like a combination between when an Amish person goes on a job, they can technically use like the tools, power tools for that job. And it also kind of combined that with the idea of like, we know that we are evil for doing this, and we're just going to not be involved anymore, and we're doing this for the greater good.
I like the Red Aja.
Yeah.
Except they're just mean to be mean.
Bosco says the skull of an Arcanum guard would be a good thing to put this on. You could even just do a helmet, an Arcanum guard helmet. Not that we've ever defined too much what the Arcanum guard helmet looks like beyond like a full face mask. It's Bolt. Battle Masters and Assassins, yeah. I mean, obviously, like, as far as in-game, if you wanted to make a Masochist character, that is definitely the way to go. But I kind of did like the idea of them being like, we know we can never go back, so let's just use everything at our disposal. And then when our time comes, like, we will welcome death, because it's going to be it's a relief at this point that we don't have to use magic anymore. Bolt will have to Iron Giant themselves back together. He's done that once before. Kind of. Bolt has a long and storied history between my own headcanon and what has happened in games that Bolt has been a part of. But yeah, he's definitely the type of person that could put himself back together if he had enough time and enough effort. Part of being a monk of his caliber, or prior to being an artificer, obviously. Every time
he's gonna cut you.
Every single time, just
here. Every time he doesn't say it, Scott, just we'll get his attention.
Thank you.
We'll condition him. So Bolt is he. Oh nope, it's a they.
Nope.
See? Conditioning. What is it? What's that called when they ring the bell and they feed the dog and then they'll?
It's like, a Pavlovian response.
Yeah, the Pavlovian, yeah.
I start panting and drooling as I go. It's they.
Yeah. That'd be pretty funny. All right.
I could definitely see Massifists being monks as well, because at least like certain types of monks. Because I don't see. I'm not sure if they would see like using their own soul energy as magic or their own key. I'm not sure. It's probably a very big gray area. So nobody does it just because nobody wants to be stripped down and then strapped to a tree. That's no fun at all.
Oh,
I mean,
come on.
Unless
come on.
Do a barrel roll.
Oh, the one I was looking for, I think, was this one.
Boom, headshot.
Nope, that's still not the one. I was looking for Careless Whispers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of weapons that neutralize magic or a normal type of metal that has anti-magic properties, they actually do have anti-magic shackles that they put on people. The Massifists do. They don't know why it works, but they choose to believe that it's a metal property rather than anything magical. Hidden note, since we are past the Massifist storyline, is there was a deep down beneath the Massifist community, specifically for Rowan, there was this old iron golem, and that had been like basically scrapped and torn apart into pieces as the Rowanites took over the area, right? And they kept the material around and reforged it into the shackles. And iron golems, I think iron golems have anti-magic. That's why I use them as the example. But they have like an anti-magic issue with them. So technically, I think, let me look it up here. It says immune to any spell that would change or alter its form, and it has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. Yeah. So basically, they didn't know that they were using magical material, but they literally just thought that they found a deposit of something, or at least the most people did. Obviously, the people in the know in the council have inklings of like, here are the lesser the very minor evils that we allow in order to fulfill the community's greater good. Yeah, exactly, like iron to fae or silver to vampires. And I did think about the power of piety as well as a potential, like Massifists use that instead of magic. But then when Tori sent me her character concept and said specifically that she was a paladin using the magic of the gods, it became one of those things where it's like, oh, well, I have to scrap that portion of it, because if they were okay with god magic, then they wouldn't have pushed Eve away, or she wouldn't have had to run away.
Wondering, going from view from the lower region up is not very flattering.
No, it looks good. Like true believers. What's VTM? I'm not familiar with that. And Purple Tarask, I have noted your comment, and I definitely have written it down because I want to see that too. Formidable, what do you mean these type of things? Do you mean more streams? Because I certainly love doing them. And then the other thing with Massifists, what I ended up going with is they supplemented their lack of magic with an increase in technology. And we talked a little bit about that when I was describing or going through the story of Bravel, where they basically had steam engine ships, and that they could send up and down river. and they had a really good like technological advancement, and until they were, of course, completely wiped out by Ceradon's patron. But that's neither here nor there. But I did end up using that idea and kind of running with it as giving them muskets and giving them basically guns to fight magic, right? And the idea is, given enough time, a Massifist community could get to a technological level that they could rival a normal magical society. Yes, this is a very thinly veiled way to get more fan art out of Preston for the game, for sure. I think alternate versions was the wrong way to go for fan art for the game. I should have been telling him all the new villains, but this will do for now. Oh, Vampire the Masquerade. Okay, yeah, I gotcha. I've never really delved too deep in Vampire the Masquerade, so I'm not sure what true believers are. Although, judging by what I know, there are probably people who so firmly believe in their faith that it brings them power. That's what I'm going to guess. Speaking of which, there was a vampire book that I was reading one time where it turns out that the only reason crosses affect a vampire is because of the faith of the person who believes in it, right? So if an atheist holds up a cross to a vampire, it's not going to do anything. But if a pious person worships that idol enough, it is going to cause issues. And one of the friends of the main character, there are a bunch, like 3 nerds, and one of them becomes a vampire. One of his friends has a rare, like, mint edition Optimus Prime Transformer toy, and basically worships it so much that it is an effective vampire deterrent, and it burns them.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Anthony Cassidy, welcome. Although, all right, have you been here the whole time and I've just not seen you? Well, if so, sorry I missed you.
All right, we're just gonna do it this old-fashioned way.
Yep.
Not working. Click.
Just make a line. Make a line.
Click. Right. Especially mechanical things are probably the worst. Man.
Yeah. No, I love it. I think that's really awesome.
Please freehand. Freehand and just out of my brain. No reference.
Just got finished painting the house. Nice. Hopefully it looks good. Should go with that wonderful puke yellow. That would be my recommendation.
I don't know. When I was in junior high school, they had diarrhea green jumpsuits for the wrestlers. I thought it would be a perfect color for somebody's wall. I can't say that with a straight face. It was so good. So it was pretty gross. Those singlets were gross.
All black house, yes, just completely black. It's for my goth daughter.
I remember. Her hair's auburn, isn't it?
Her hair, yes, is an auburn, I believe.
I'm not gonna do too much color. I'm just gonna go through.
Yeah.
A quick shading on this one. We'll call it good.
I love the breastplate on this. I think it looks really cool.
Thanks.
Brownish? Oh, yeah, it is brownish. That's right. Hey, thank you for the donation. I didn't know we could do donations on
Donos.
YouTube, but appreciate it. Thank you, Anthony.
Dono arigato.
And obviously, don't feel obligated to. I love the little dancing fox, though. That's great. And another $6.99. Appreciate that as well. You're too nice to us. True faith is just like resistance to magical powers. Oh, thank you, Caleb. Yeah, it's basically just I don't believe that this can hurt me because of my faith. I get it. Yeah. Anthony, appreciate it. Holy crap. I think he needs to contribute a little bit on what he wants to see drawn at this point.
Yep, I'd say that. Oof.
Yeah, we definitely do appreciate. And again, guys, don't feel obligated to donate anything. That's not why we're doing this. We're just hanging out and having some fun tonight. But if you do want to support the channel, we appreciate it. We also have merch. If you want to put that towards buying a really cool shirt or something, that's up to you. Yeah, but no obligation, but we do appreciate it.
And if you want dingus swass on your cheeks while you're swimming, we have those.
That's true. We now do have a swimsuit that says Dankest Swass on the butt.
We have a men's and a women's activewear one as well. So.
Yep. Okay, at this point, can you just tell us what you want us to draw, Anthony? $27. Well, sorry, $28. That's absolutely insane. And you're making me feel incredibly guilty. I hope that's what you're going for. Caleb sends $2 in and says Himbo Bard Ezra. I'm writing it down. I'm definitely writing it down. Now, obviously, we can't get to everything tonight. We'll stream for as long as we can, obviously. But yes, we do have the Danka Swashmers. Blah. Whatever.
And fun fact, in the inside of this hat that you see on top of my head, the tag inside also says Dankest Swass. So it's the Dankest Swass collection. So limited edition. Get yours now.
The Dankest. Oh yeah, and I think the reason why we didn't do it at first is just because it was on Colby's channel that we did the that joke came out of. So technically, it wasn't a Tales of Aneria original. So there was just a little bit of back and forth on like what should we do with this and everything. But I think eventually we just settled on it's just part of the game now. So, but anyway. I think I know I personally love doing these. I love watching you draw, Preston. I think you're fantastic at it, and I always want you to draw more. And this might just be the way that I get you to do it. And then I can just sit here and bullshit with everybody else. That's the other great thing about these streams is I don't have to censor myself as much. We do a lot of that for the YouTube algorithm and whatnot. Obviously, I'm not going to go off and say the F word every couple seconds or anything like that, but I can throw the occasional swear in, right? Nobody cares about that, right guys? We're good.
Everybody just stare at him. Just stare at him.
Yeah.
Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Just kidding. Say something.
Please. Anything.
I'm giving up on you. The bard's coming out. I haven't even had my caffeine yet. Right.
Oh, Cas. Yeah, we need an alternate Cas for sure.
Oh, did I? Hold on 1 second. Find that.
What's going on? I'm on a delay too, so I'm going to see it a few seconds after.
I don't know if we ever released some of these. So for those of you who don't know, I like to scribble in my D&D notes. So some of the stuff that you might see on some of those thumbnails come from here. I'm trying to find Kiss with the hair curlers.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't think we ever showed anybody that one.
No, I don't think we did.
Okay. Well, you can't see it very well from there, but there's Kiss with hair curlers laying on a pillow reading Eve's messages. So, for your enjoyment.
Perfect.
All right, so let's close this one. Which one's that? Eve. Okay, here's a new one. All right. Let's close this one.
I hope, Preston, I hope that you're not feeling too stressed out about doing art tonight. I think you're doing great.
No.
I just want to make sure that you're comfortable. Everybody's comfortable.
Just like I said, as far as sketches and everything.
If you want to take a break, I can pull up MS Paint and I can do a really quick one. That's fine. For $27, I'll do the quick MS Paint sketch.
These are fun. They're doodles. So, just like I said, I'm not very good at multitasking. So,
Caleb, you know that you've made it when you get Rule 34 content out about your property. That's step number 4, I guess. So somebody said we had a himbo bard Ezra.
What does that mean?
I think it's just a very beautiful Ezra as a bard, which we can bring back unicorn Ezra if we wanted to. We also had Chef bought Bolt that idea, and then we also had Purple Tarask said that he had an idea for Ezra, a druid raised by his mother in the Ungolin marshlands, which means he's kind of a mean druid and leads the tribe in raiding the airships as they pass by.
This is going this way very quickly rather than initially intending. Himbo Bard.
Yeah.
Let's put that down.
Are those alien?
Like
like
Shrek.
Going Shrek? Okay.
It went Shrek really fast. So
if you want to go himbo, yeah. Josh, glad you were able to find the merch. We probably should get that up on maybe on the description or something here, but it'll be there. I think we're gonna post the stream afterwards with the usual stuff too. So Shrek is the greatest himbo of all time. That is correct. Yes.
Like he has a pronounced jaw. Do you have any facial hair? I don't remember.
Ezra had a goatee, I believe. I think he did. I'm not sure. In my mind, he had a goatee.
Giraffe in a hat, are you here?
I don't believe he is on currently. Yeah, it looks like he's offline right now. Okay. He's probably busy being a dad or something.
And a new dad. Getting all the best cuddles. Little babies are the best when they're that age. They just cuddle. Well, they don't just cuddle. I wish.
Yeah, how dare he, right?
Ooh. Executive decision. Ezra has an afro?
Ezra has an afro. Done. Yep.
In this universe, he has an afro.
Mm-hmm.
I like afro.
He's a bard, but his college is clown college.
And the reason I want to do that is because I have this really cool brush that I've been wanting to use.
Okay. Alrighty. No emo swoosh.
An emo swoosh.
We'll do druid Ezra as emo Ezra. Dressra? That's the one constant about Ezra's is they all brood.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh man. No, I love it. I absolutely love it.
Down to this. He's leaner. He's life. He's not.
Oh yeah.
He's
yeah,
not
definitely.
Like World of Warcraft life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he's not thick orc. Himbo typically is thick as far as that goes. But I think we'd be okay not to have him be too thick.
Incredible Hulk it is.
Yeah. The greatest thing is I cannot wait to show these out of context to the group because Colby and Dallin aren't here. I'm even going to send them to Tori as well, just because I'm like, everybody needs to see these out of context and be like, what the heck happened on this stream?
Let's see. Yeah.
Where are the pauldrons? Exactly. Where are the pauldrons? If it's going to be a World of Warcraft orc, we have to have massive pauldrons. Do one pauldron, but make it look like a tiny piano.
Tiny piano.
I mean, it's a big pauldron, but it's a tiny piano. Because they always do like really weird pauldrons where they'll add like a face to it or something like that to make it unique. And I think having one that's a tiny piano that he can literally just reach up and go and tickle the ivories a little bit. Piano pauldron. Piano aldrin. P in an aldrin is what I'm reading that as for some reason. Yeah, tiny, small grand piano. Yeah, I think what is Druid Ezra? Not this Ezra. This is obviously we'll ask a question about Bard Ezra, Himbo Ezra in a moment here. What is Druid Ezra's like preferred transformation form from the Ungoliant Marshland? Thank you, Anthony. He says he's got to go shower and wash the paint off. Love you, lads. Wish the best for Cory and Preston. Good night, my boys and Tails crew. Good night, man. Love you. Thank you so much for your donations. Appreciate it. Yeah, have a good one. And wash extra hard. Get between the nails. Formidable says definitely a vulture. Yeah, if he is going to be going through the marshlands and attacking skyships with the harpies and his tribe, yes, definitely going vulture there. That is a good point. Also, I could very much see crocodile being an ambush predator.
That's true. Anaconda.
Yep. But that's only if the caravan has buns, hun. I love it. That's a great pauldron. And the horn. Yes, absolutely the unicorn horn. That is 100%. Anthony, go shower. Enough with your donations. We love you. Thank you so much for another $28. That's way too much. Go shower. You amazing lad. DM me. I want to ask you a question. Now that you've donated so much, I feel obligated to do something for you as well. So DM me, okay? Yes, bread caravan. How do you think they get food out to Big Town? They just airdrop it in. Well, it is a plagued town right now. That's one thing I guess let's talk about that. Yeah, why not? Sure. So there was that plague storyline that everybody was really interested in. And the truth of the matter is I pulled it out of my ass. I was trying to add some extra flavor to Big Town just off the top of my head, and I came up with the plague tent, and everybody got really interested in it really quickly, which happens. So I had to kind of think of a good yeah, of course people got sick if I was pulling it out of my ass. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, it was one of those storylines that I was just like, okay, I need to start thinking about something here really quick. And I actually did end up being really good. Like it ended up being a really interesting part of the story, even though most of it happens in the background and is still happening. Actually, or it kind of came to a head over the past 2 years. And we'll talk about that in the session 1 once that comes out, about what exactly happened there. But there definitely was a resolution to that plot line that I'm interested to talk about. But thanks to Bolt's timely demanding of getting into the tent, that made me kind of go, oh crap, I actually need to come up with something for this plague, because I know they're going to be asking about it now.
What happened there? Where's all right.
Anthony, I swear, if you do not go shower right now, mister, there is no dessert for you tonight. I promise I will find a way to enforce that. Get out of here with your donations, you wonderful, wonderful man. Another $2.99. Appreciate it. That's it. No dessert. I'll turn this stream around, mister.
Don't
You
make
keep
me
playing
turn
games.
this stream around.
He's doing that thing where he's like, I'm going to go shower, but first I'm going to sit down on the can and play on my phone for 10 minutes. Been there, done that. Oh, yeah, that's true. By taking away his dessert, it means he has more to donate because he can't have dessert. Oh, it's all in Canadian buckaroos, huh? Well, appreciate it. I was going to try a Canadian accent there. I decided not to, probably for the best.
I found there's a place here in the area that serves poutine. Delicious.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I've never had poutine. Yeah, that's
real
exactly right, Formidable. My Canadian accent is just Scott wants to know where the poutine. Where's the poutine? Tell us.
Where's the? I'll have to look it up. I don't remember without doxing off the hand.
Hey,
Yeah,
well, we
exactly.
love a good Ireland friend. Thanks, Anthony. Now go shower. Yeah, definitely. Get that over to Scott. I know he wants that immediately. Hashtag release the poutine cut.
Poutine content.
One other thing that I wanted to ask you about, because I know you like Critical Role. I know they're one of the reasons you got into the game, or at least I don't know, or maybe started playing. I don't know. Actually, yes. Speaking out of my butt now. Did you?
It was one of the things that spurred me to ask Dallin because I was watching it at the time. Because I'd always liked it, and he was like, "Oh, are you watching Critical Role?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm watching Critical Role." And so we started talking about it. I was like, "We should totally play sometime." And then he came out and he talked to you, and then we went out and created the game, and that was where it all started. So it was just just like that. So
are there any other podcasts, live plays that you listen to?
And same for there are others, but not on a regular basis. Like Dimension 20, the one with Brandon Mulligan. He's funny.
Yeah, I do love me some Dimension 20.
I think,
and this goes for everybody else in the chat too. If there's a good live play that you like, other than Tales of Aneria, of course, because that's why you're here.
I think I've seen a couple like Dungeon Dads, a couple others just briefly, but not enough that I would call myself like a regular.
Yeah. Formidable says, "Ooh boy, game time. Good luck. Tell your DM that I gave you advantage on your first roll." Purple Tarask says, "Nap time now, so I gotta go. Good drawings. Good night, Purple Tarask." Yep. Put your nightcap on, which is a weird thing that people used to do, apparently. Yeah. People say Godforged. Is that a live play? I haven't heard of them before. Dungeon Dudes, obviously Dragonheim. That's a good one. One that I used to listen to a lot. Actually, the first live play that I used to listen to was, well, except for Acquisitions Incorporated back when they were doing their stuff for like 4th edition and later on 5th edition. But Critical Hit was one that I used to listen to all the time. NADPOD and Adventure Zone are good ones, Caleb says. Okay, yeah, so Godforged is one there as well. Scott, remind me, what was the one that you introduced me to that they had a really good like production with a bunch of different sound and everything to them, but it was the one on the pirate ship and they all woke up and they didn't really have any memories.
Gilligan's Island. Is it Gilligan's Island?
No, it wasn't Gilligan's. I don't think that's a live play, but it could be. One Shot Questers. Yeah, could be another one. Girls Who Don't D&D. That's what it is. That was a really good one. Basically, 3 girls who don't play D&D, they're not really nerdy, got together and asked their friend to DM for them. and started playing a game, and it was really good what I listened to it. So obviously I have very little time in my day to listen to other live plays, and I'm not gonna say that I don't like listening to them, but I feel very weird when I listen to them and then I have an idea based on them, because it makes it feel like I'm just like stealing ideas. So I try not to do that. And the easiest way not to do that is just not to watch those. But every now and then, I'm way behind on Critical Role Season 3, which was the first time that I was trying to actually like keep up on it. Yeah, Casey, I think you are the only one over on the Twitch chat. Everybody else is over here on YouTube. But yeah, just stick around. That's fine.
The tube of views.
Well, awesome. Yeah, I'll have to look up. Oh yeah, One Shot Question. Yeah, I know that guy. I've seen his stuff around. He does really good. He does really good videos and everything. In fact, I think they just launched, not sponsored, obviously, but I think they just launched a new like One Shot Quest channel that is specifically for games and stuff. And I think that's really cool as well. I think I just saw that today actually. It'll show up in my feed now that I've talked about it.
Yep. Now you see that.
Yep.
Maybe you'll get that the ads for poutine recipes.
Yes, just shout poutine into your microphone or your Echo device over and over again. I love how this Ezra is a bard, but he still has the samurai sword, so he's kind of an Afro samurai still. Yep. I think it's awesome.
That's what I was thinking too. I've always found that tough guys are a little easier to draw. I think it probably came from drawing Dragon Ball Z characters.
Oh yeah,
for forever, but like they're a lot easier to paint than the more dainty or more feminine characters.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Afro samurai swords bard. Yep, that's exactly right. Funny. No, lost it. I had something. I lost it. That's fine though.
I still think it's funny.
Thank you.
I'll support you.
Appreciate it. I have thought about streaming the games. I have thought about it, but that is a huge undertaking. I remember streaming with the Broken Spear, and it's one of those things where it's like,
I think it makes it easier when we have a regular place, because before it was like everything in my backpack and setting it up every time and tearing it down every time. And now we've got a little more sophisticated. So.
It could be a lot better, and it could make it a lot easier. The problem is we'd have to really schedule out like breaks in that case. Obviously, like if somebody needed to run to the bathroom, I wouldn't say no. You can pee in D&D. If DM ever tries to tell you that you only have like a scheduled bathroom break, don't go to that group anymore. I've heard horror stories. Anthony, you've donated enough, but we probably should do a one-shot stream sometime as part of this. That is a really good idea. Every $5 we get to have a pee break. Yep, that's that's good. Yeah, I might talk about that to the group, because that could be really fun.
Really?
Yeah, we'll have to see. We will have to see, for sure.
You trying to join the stream? Is that what's going on here? Ollie will keep popping up. There you go.
Got to get that dog in there, right?
Say hello to everybody. I'm a turd. Grade A turd. Spoiled.
I mean, he looks like one.
He's here for the cute factor. So. One. You shoot your bow? Okay, he gets a critical hit.
Just automatic criticals.
Automatic criticals. Pups always get like automatic criticals. Trying to figure out where Oh, no.
Oh, I actually have something I can show off here. Check this out. Hopefully it comes through really well without blurring too much. This is me. I made myself in Hero Forge. It's a little blurry,
Nice.
but the idea I had this idea that I was going to do. I'm still planning on it. It's just again finding the time where I was going to make a miniature tavern on one of my shelves, and I was going to put myself as the bartender. Yeah, it does need a paint job for sure. I was going to put myself as the bartender, and like my family members were going to be various like I actually have one printed for my wife as well. I made her the captain of the guard, and gave her kind of a cool look here. And I was going to do all of the main characters in every campaign that I had been a part of were going to be like tavern patrons and have it like continually expand until like the inn was completely full with a bunch of different Hero Forge figures from characters from my different campaigns. Again, it's still an ongoing idea. It's just I'm going to have to paint that myself, and I don't feel confident enough to paint right now.
That'd be cool.
I love this. I think this is really cool, Preston. Like, this is a concept for a character is really awesome. Like, he reaches up with his right arm and he plays a few notes to like inspire himself, and then he just like slides the arm down to the sword and unsheaths and slices in one motion, whatever that's called. Exactly.
That'd be funny.
Do you think you can do a spider chef bolt with an oven furnace in 10 minutes to complete our alternate party?
Let's do it.
He plays it with a looper. Yes, definitely. He just sets up like a tempo beat. It's an electric keyboard.
All right. Ezra.
Sorry, didn't mean to rush you on Ezra there.
Oh, you're good. Right. Russia.
Should do a one shot in the Nine Hells would be epic, and everyone is a pally. Yeah, I think having a good party, like one of my one shot ideas has always been a complete dwarf party, like a dwarven warband, and I tried to do that a little bit with Bronze Battalion, and Turgan being the Sarge, right? But obviously, I can't tell everybody to be dwarves. I can't be like, hey, everybody be a dwarf, okay? It'll be fun, I promise. Oh, time for a quick chef. We are cutting off at 9. Is that right, Preston?
Yeah. I think.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that, like, if you were planning on going later, I can go later. But if you had a cutoff time, that's fine.
All right. So what was the other part of it? He was a head. He had lots of arms.
Yeah, give him like give him like a little tiny chassis. That's almost like an iron furnace cooking thing, right? Like the one in Home Alone.
Yeah.
They down in the basement. They wanted a spice bottle bandolier. Apparently, was one thing on there.
I mean, what a bandolier is.
It's kind of like they strap the grenades to on the front, or the extra ammo on.
Gotcha. Something Einor would wear.
Yes, exactly. That is something that Einor would wear. Yeah, that's a great description for it. Chest belt.
Chest belt, yeah.
Yep.
Rambo belt.
Yeah, it is the Rambo belt. Remember how I said I would cook you last, potato? I lied. That's not Rambo, but I think the quote's good. Oh, such precision from this already. I love the very intense. Like I am going to put literally a gram of salt. Deuce Piece 20, welcome. Get to the clear. We'll get there. We'll get there. Everybody loves potatoes. I honestly don't think I know a person who doesn't like potatoes. And now that I've said that, there will be somebody in chat who will be like, I don't like potatoes.
My poutine is offended.
Yeah, we could put the giant meat cleaver like leaning up against the bar.
On with my eraser right now.
Nature's wild card food. You never know. You never know what you're going to get. It's literally chaos in the food stuff.
Reminds me of what's the comedian? The comedian that talks about like how bacon's the fairy dust of food. You take a potato and then you throw bacon bits on it. Bam! It's an entree.
I do not.
I
don't know. I don't know that one.
That one's a funny one. If you ever check him out, I remember who said it was Jim Gaffigan.
It'll pop up on TikTok for me eventually, I'm sure.
Brian Regan, one of those guys.
Yeah, I've been watching. My TikTok is starting to fill up with more and more comedians just because I love watching the little clips. Jim Gaffigan, Caleb says. Yeah. That does exactly sound like a Gaffigan thing. I actually saw a clip from Brian Regan, and I hadn't seen a clip from him since high school, so it's been 14 years, and he's gotten old. He has gotten old, but that's all right. Not everybody needs to be young forever.
Like
the little quips, the little quick clicks. Quick quip clips. I will not be able to say that any faster. So Preston, you've played a lot of characters in D&D. You played a lot of classes. Is there a class that you haven't played yet that you want to? Either a class or a subclass?
I've never played a straight up fighter. I've never played a... Let me qualify this. I don't think I've ever played a sorcerer.
I don't think you have either.
I think I've played Bard, I've played Warlock, I've played Barbarian, we've played Rogue-ish.
Yeah.
Spellcasting Rogue.
True, yeah.
I'm trying to think of the other ones. I played Cleric. Yeah, I think Fighter's one of the ones, and Sorcerer. I don't know why. I mean, Sorcerers just always were one of those ones where I think it was like initially that was the one class that kind of like had me confused. Like when I first started DMing, I had somebody who played Sorcerer, and they were always asking me these questions like, "How does this work?" I was like, "I have no freaking clue how meta magic works." Like, are you kidding me? Like,
I don't know how meta magic works.
Like, give me like 10 minutes. Hold on, and then I go look something up. I'm like, all right, well, I don't really understand it still, but here's this, And so, but again, it was like that learning the DM process and trying to learn how, like what works for some people and what don't. But how about you?
Yeah, I always feel like sorcerers are a little bit too punchy for me, as in like too combat oriented, right?
Yeah.
And I don't mind a class that's combat oriented. It's just not one that I regularly want to play. Like whenever I think about the spellcaster, like sorcerer is really cool because I love the flavor of being like it's infused into you. But then I'm like, but wizard has more utility.
True. Absolutely true. That's one of those ones where, and it's the same thing with like my first character ever was a warlock. and it was of the Asmodeus was his patron.
Oh, classic. Absolutely. Like, you don't see that a lot anymore. Absolutely classic, just like Devil Lord.
Yeah, and he was a tiefling, so like, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. He was fun to play, and he had this quirk that everybody hated because again, I was learning D&D and stuff, but the quirk was that if he saw something new, he was fighting something new he didn't understand, he'd sit down and try and write it down and like sketch it and like get it in his face before he would fight. So it would be like a whole round
Yeah.
of combat of him just being like, "All right, hold on, guys. Like, I know he's trying to kill you. Like, just give me a second. Like, hold on."
Just
Then
give me
he'd come
6
out-
seconds to sketch this out.
and then
Yeah.
he'd start throwing Eldritch blasts and stuff from he was a spell sniper, so he's like 300 feet away with Eldritch blast, and
Oh,
it
nice.
was fun.
Yeah, Josh, it could be that Sorcerer does have a lot of out of combat use, and I'm just biased because I've never actually played in the game with a full Sorcerer before. Colby obviously played a Sorcerer as part of his alternate character, and maybe his new one, or not his new one, but his alternate Ceradon, and maybe the Ceradon after that. I can't remember. But he's never really been that kind of like ranged spellcaster sorcerer, so I've never had that before. I do remember, if you remember the one game that we had where Scott was playing the Loxodon Warlock and used Arms of Hadar in that room full of kobolds.
That was fun.
That was really good.
It was a fun one.
Yep, this is everything that I wanted it to be. This is amazing. This is definitely a bolt that was a little bit more damaged when they came out of, or when they woke up in the junk pile beneath Mageport. Mageport? I can't remember the place. Manaport. Thank you. It's my world, and I've completely forgotten everything about it. Apparently, and they just kind of like pieced themselves together however they could, and yeah, now they're kind of like Spider Body.
Give him a Yondu.
Yep, Caleb, this is definitely inspired by Spirited Away for sure.
Hold on, we gotta get a little
magical guidance on all charisma skill checks has been pretty good. That's true. That can be pretty good. I know that I was very surprised when Colby said he wanted to cast a spell when he was a part sorcerer, and I told him that it would require, like, he would have, because it has a verbal component to it, they would notice. And he told me that he took the silent spell as meta magic, and I did a double take because Colby took silent spell instead of like maximizing the range or some other one that would be more combat oriented. It completely shocked me, which happens a lot with Colby. He always surprises me in one way or another. He sent me his character backstory, which I think he sent to you guys too. But he sent me the character backstory when it was finally finished, and I was completely blown away with what he had done. Like, he's come up with such a good backstory for it, and I don't know, like, I shouldn't be surprised. He's really good at basically all around at being a player. But it's not one of the, like, it's just one of those things where every now and then I completely underestimate as far as like making up a backstory or making up an RP portion for a character goes for Colby.
Yeah,
oh, can't be counterspelled. That's what it is. Yep. Okay. Yep. That's definitely that makes a lot more sense then. Yep. I actually haven't thrown a counterspell wizard at you yet. Or I have, but they've never used it. Exactly. Yeah, I think this bolt is definitely just stayed in Terabon and is helping Janjin out in the, I think it's the Sand Cat. That's what the name of the inn was. Yeah. Yeah, I counterspell the counterspell. Honestly, like, I think that It's my least favorite playstyle in Magic for any Magic fans out there, by the way, because
I summon this. No, you don't. Goes back to your hand.
yeah,
I summon
it's
this.
like
No, it doesn't.
yeah. Yeah, I actually played one of those tonight, and it's incredibly infuriating to be like, oh, I can't do anything on the board, and you're just wrecking me. Okay. This is a fun solo game that you're playing. Like, haha, great.
Remind me later, and I'll send you. I have a Magic the Gathering when I was playing online, and the
Uh-huh.
guy hit me for like 1,200 damage because he
Oh,
had one
wow.
of these builds where it was like a whole bunch. It was one of those ones where it would like spawn more creatures, and it would just keep building on itself. And every time they spawn, then it would add more damage on top of them. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I want to see where this goes. So I just stopped trying to kill his people off and let him continue to build that up. And then when he finally
Yeah.
attacked me, I was just like, oh my gosh, like.
I think I've had Scott attack, or I've watched Scott attack another person in Magic with 1,000 tokens
Mhm.
before, and then I've also seen, or I've also played a game where I've been negative 96 life and almost won that game.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, basically, and I almost so. Obviously, there was a mechanic that was preventing me from losing the game at that point, right?
Right.
And it was just it was like a Platinum Angel type thing. And I kept gaining life, and I almost got back up to positive life before that angel got taken out.
That's awesome. I always love when you have that epic comeback.
Yeah, it is always great. Oh, get out of here with that Scoot Swarm crap. I hate Scoot Swarm. No, they're really cool. I just don't have one. 200 tokens in round 3. The one that I've been playing, and I know it infuriates a lot of people, and it infuriates me when I have to go up against it, is a life gain deck. And there's a specific enchantment that's like, whenever you attack with a creature, you create that many 1/1 tokens, and then you have creatures on the board that whenever you summon a creature, you gain life. So it's kind of this big constant engine, and yeah, it's incredibly stupid. Yeah, I had to face a landfall mill deck Bosco today, and for everybody who's like, I don't play Magic, this is gonna be nothing for you, but that was not fun. But I ended up beating them out of sheer force of will. Yeah, maybe sometime I'll do like that's another thing that I would love to stream is just Magic Arena, but I do not play Magic to be like the best. I play Magic just to have fun, right? Like I play it to come up with a crazy idea, and I'm like, I know these cards don't work. I know my Mechatron deck doesn't really do much, but it's fun. Yes, the Gathering of Nerd. Yeah, exactly.
How do you feel about there's a TikToker guy that I'm pretty sure he printed it out, but he had a Black Lotus card, and someone had punched a hole in it and turned it into a button they could wear.
Oh.
It was just like, no. What are you doing?
Yeah. I know that there is a TikToker that's like he gets donations from people, and they tell him a card, like a rare card, and he goes into like his local game store, asks them if they have that card, buys it, and then says, "You want to know the good thing about this card?" And then rips it in half right in front of him and says nothing, and then just walks away.
Yeah.
And I'm sure part of it's like scripted and everything like that, but it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I've ripped a few cards in my day, but I don't think I've ever ripped a rare. That's for sure.
That's on next level. It's like, what's
Hey,
that
welcome
game?
TDW.
Was it Pandemic? Was that the game? Where like the first thing you do in the game is you take out a card and you tear it in half. Like that's the whole purpose of the card.
Yeah, there's
Is it Pandemic?
there's a couple like legacy games like Pandemic. I have one that's I'm trying to remember the name of it. Gloomhaven. Technically you're supposed to like rip cards up when you're done with them, that sort of thing. I have a special bag that says like discarded that they go in where I don't use them anymore. But I paid like $100 for Gloomhaven. I'm not going to rip the cards up.
Yeah, seriously.
And it's $100 that I actually don't like. I regret spending because I played Gloomhaven twice and I really didn't like the mechanics of it. I kind of got caught up with FOMO on that one. All right, I think if we just add the meat cleaver, I think that should be good enough for tonight. I know people were looking for that big A meat cleaver.
So that's a hand
Just-
axe.
I thought about like looking at it and converting some of the stuff. Obviously, the minis are really cool for Gloomhaven. I want to paint them and everything. And to be fair, I need to give it a shot when I'm not dealing with negativity. Like I need to get a group together that's like, we want to learn to play this, because the group that I was playing with, and Scott was there, he kind of knows, was very much like, this rule doesn't really fit, I don't like it, can we change it? It was very much that type of game group, and it's like, oh, maybe we can adjust this, and it kind of tempered the enjoyment of it a little bit. Hey, thank you, Josh. Thank you for joining us. We've had a lot of fun here tonight. We are wrapping up right now. So sorry, TDW, who just joined. We love you as well. But we want to do more of these, I think. Preston, did you like this? Was this good enough that you would want to do it again?
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I definitely want to do more as well. Maybe we'll get Scott in here as another element as well next time. I know he does a little bit of drawing too. Maybe we could get him to do something. Who knows? Might get him some good practice. I'm going to put him on the spot instead of me. I mean, like on the stream, like talking without being in chat, Scott. It was wonderful. But thank you so much, Preston, for doing this. Appreciate it. Looking back through all of our wonderful, would you please send me each individual image as well? I want to. We'll post them up on the art share tonight. We'll have this up so everybody can see it.
Yeah, I'll drop them in there.
But yeah, thank you for joining us. We're gonna have more coming up here. Maybe another paint stream sometime. Maybe another art stream. Maybe a one-shot stream. I need to talk to people about that, because that does sound kind of fun, actually. So yeah, but until then.
Until then,
Love you too. Yeah, sorry. Got
I was
caught
like,
up with the.
Oh no, did it freeze?
no, I froze. Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate it. I definitely am working ever towards that goal of losing weight, and I appreciate the encouragement there. But until next time, guys, thank you so much. We love you. We hope you have a great night, and we'll see you again soon. Hopefully.